SmackDown review for the April 25th episode of SmackDown. I'm Will, that's Brandon. We're the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast. As always, let's cheers, talk about some wrestling.
SmackDown right after Mania. We knew a little bit about the card, so you knew this one was going to be good. And oh boy, this one delivered again, just like Raw the other night.
Yeah, very good SmackDown after WrestleMania. Make sure to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Share it. Let's grow this community. But let's get into it. Mr. Jonathan Cena was here to address the elephant in the room, which was Randy Orton. He came out, of course, belt on his butt. All the heel stuff was back in action. He made the commentator come out, reintroduce him as the never seen 17 GOAT, all that good stuff, last real champion. But before he could say even a word, Randy Orton was there, and he came out. And this took a turn. This is not the promo I thought they were gonna cut. Randy said, in a couple months it'll be 25 years since we started doing this whole, back and forth with each other. And he said, the one thing I could always count on over that 25 years was you were Mr. Hustle, loyalty, and respect. You never changed until recently, and I could feel a void in you, John. You see, for years and years and years, these kids, you inspired them, the Make-A-Wish kids. You were there for them. That had to touch your heart. So, John, I think I know how to fill this void of yours. You need to have some kids, bro. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay, Randy. He says, you need to have some kids, dude. He said, you be back to who you are, grow up, and become a father. Randy Orton saying that.
Yeah.
Crazy to hear. The guy who's been a heel all these times against John Cena.
Well, especially like thinking about we got introduced to Randy Orton, right?
Yeah.
And then you fast forward. I obviously know people grow up and everything, but you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yes,
and
yes, sir, Mr. Randy.
Yeah, and Randy is notably a great father. But Cena would say, how dare you? You try to make me feel better by parent shaming me? What is that? Where's the logic there? He goes, congrats, you have kids. Good job, Randy. The reason I never became a father was because I spent 25 years raising all your kids. And he points to the crowd and all the fathers. And he goes, what did I get for it? And he walks over and he points at this kid. And he's like, that 6-year-old's flipping me off. Yeah, nice father you have there. I tried to raise these kids for a bunch of loser fathers everywhere. And Randy kind of fights back, and he's like, these fans are why you're here. These fans are why the WWE exists, dude. They're the reason that you're here. And John, by the way, you go a lot of times. So at this point, you're kind of just a guest. And that's when Cena kind of, he goes crazy. He said, I used to believe in the WWE Universe too. I used to believe in them, but I was wrong. I did everything I needed for them. And I imagine all the terrible things they've been saying for me over the last 25 years. And the second I leave and try to try something new and go back and forth between that and the new thing, they start to call me a guest. They start to be mad at me for it. I can't even leave. This is all manipulation. You're all a bunch of hypocrites. That's not what a healthy relationship is like. And he goes, I'm just a guest trying to do something different. And Randy replies by saying, you know what? And at this point, he's getting pissed. The veins are popping out. And he says, you know what? I was stupid to think I could change your opinion. You want to ruin wrestling? That's the problem here. You want to ruin this wrestling thing? You want to ruin wrestling for guys like Cody, guys like me, people who have been generational in this business. Wrestling is my family. It's my family's history. So if you want to ruin wrestling, it'll be over my dead body. And Cena goes, shut your mouth. I've already won number 17. You have 14. But after this last shot that you're probably going to get at this one, that'll be it for you. Because I'm leaving and will freeze wrestling history. Even if you were to win a title, the toy one, after I'm gone, you'll only have 14 because it will be the new fake toy one that they make. He goes, 3 generations of your family's wrestling history will be erased. Oh, crazy, man. And Randy gets pissed at this point. And he goes, you know what? You want to call yourself the last real champ? How about you prove it right now? And John says, nah, rather not. Mm-hmm. He says, you know what I would rather do? I'd rather get the best of you. And Randy, the best of you will be in St. Louis at your hometown after you spend time with your family and your kids and when they're in the audience. So at Backlash, I'll face you. And I want that best version of Randy Orton. So when I beat you, I'll know I beat the best. And then John Cena poses with the belt, throws the belt at Randy Orton, clotheslines him. and he lines up another shot with the belt like he did at WrestleMania against Cody, and he goes to hit Randy Orton, but Randy ducks it, RKO's him. Randy holds the belt up. Bada bing, bada boom.
Mm-hmm.
It is official, though. We get Randy Orton, John Cena one last time for the Undisputed Championship at Backlash. This was perfect. I can't believe they went into the whole parent, you should be a father, John, but I'm loving this feud already, and I can't wait for it.
Yeah.
Pop.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you got to pop this. And there were a few people saying, like, oh, I don't want to see this match. Well, I don't know how you don't want to see this match. I mean, this is wrestling. This is the childhood. This is the feel-good stuff. Two legends going at it. Interesting promo. We were kind of wondering how they're going to, like, really book face Orton versus heel Cena. By the way, heel Cena, once again, just phenomenal stuff here. And talking about freezing the family off. And that's when Randy snaps. Really, really good stuff. Interesting that Randy Orton is kind of the voice of reason for John Cena, the WWE universe. You have to kind of trust him when he was out here punting people's moms and dads and grandmas and spitting on people. But you know what? That's an old Randy Orton, not the new Randy Orton. All I know is this promo here far exceeded anything that I thought they could have done. You could have just put their two names on there and I've been like, yep, sign me up. I'm ready to go. But after this, it's like, okay, I'm excited. I'm into it. I'm invested. I'm really hoping Randy comes out with the win in his hometown. I know it's not really going to happen, but that place is going to be on fire for Randy Orton. John Cena is going to get booed out of the building. It's going to be a great environment. Expect some sort of shenanigans. Expect some sort of Randy Orton family involvement with Cena. And it's going to be good.
Obviously, I love that the match is taking place, but what I love more is I think Randy Orton's the perfect first opponent for this title reign of John Cena's, because Randy has everything to talk about. He's like, dude, I've watched you this entire time. We've had practically identical careers. Like Randy's had 14 world titles. John Cena's got 17. So in terms of like the measuring stick of history, Randy's the closest guy to Cena currently in wrestling. So what's the one difference? Dude, I grew up. I had kids. I matured in that way. John, you never did. You just sat here and you did the same thing over and over and over for 20 years. And yeah, they turned on you, dude, a little bit. They called you mean things, and now you're like this. How about you mature? You go have kids and you try to grow up as well. And Cena's like, no. Like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm going to be me. I just try to do something different. And you guys treat me different for it. You guys hate on me. So it's like, John Cena is speaking a lot of sense as a heel, which is a WWE trope now. Like, heels make sense in their own way. So I just think that Randy Orton's the perfect opponent. This match is going to be great. I can't believe it's happening one last time. That's going to have to soak in, but I'm just excited.
Yeah, maybe we end up circling back around. I doubt it, but maybe towards the end of it, who knows how the twists and turns go down at the end of the road. But I mean, you got to be there for this one. You got to tune in for this one. It's like two best friends, right? You grow up and one of them stays on the party route and one of them never grows up. One of them just like, man, this is awesome. This is great. And the other, chooses the path, goes down, family man, good job, da-da-da. And they finally cross, they finally hang out one time. And they don't like each other at all. They don't like what they've kind of turned into. It's so good.
Insane. We would move on. Garzas will take you on Fraxium. Nice to see them. I don't know if they're getting a full-time call-up. Hopefully they do. Love to see them.
Yeah.
And this match was like all about the Fraxium. Like, how do we show Fraxium off for the main card wrestling, crowd that we get? A lot of them don't watch NXT. Fraxium showed out here. Nathan Frazier specifically, he did a bunch of good stuff. They all were doing the suicide dives, sentons, diving through the rope, this, that, all that phenomenal stuff. Frazier would hit a springboard moonsault into a DDT, reverse DDT, then he'd get on the top rope, hit a senton after that. The Garzas would hit an NTY from the top rope on Frazier down the line, but Axiom would break that up. But Axiom and Frazier, Axiom hit the Spanish fly on one of them, while Frazier hits the splash right afterward. They do pin him 1, 2, 3. Fraxium gets a first win here on SmackDown. It's really nice to see them here. I have nothing but good things to say about them. Another great addition to a great SmackDown tag team division. Popping it.
Yeah, let's kind of hope it's the call up. I mean, maybe it's not, because maybe Nathan Frazier has some other plans, maybe, who knows, right? But yeah, this was phenomenal. I would have said this was match of the night, but we'll get to that in a little bit here. This was fantastic stuff. We can never say enough about Fraxium when they're in the ring. The Garzas the Garzas never win, but anytime you put the Garzas in with anybody, it's a good match.
Yeah, they're great.
It's kind of like goes underrated, I feel like, with those guys. Great start tonight. Fast-paced match. I'm sure it probably got a little bit more time than we probably realized, but it was just boom, 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 nonstop. Good stuff.
It was the main card Fraxium show-off case, and we love to see it. Good stuff. We'll move on, though. Tiffy time is still here. She beat Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania, and she came out to gloat about it. She said at Mania, it was Tiffy time. I defeated one of the greatest. I doubted myself at times, I will admit, but I prevailed. There's only one Charlotte, and I will admit that. But guess what? There's also only one Tiffany Stratton. When Jade shows up, Jade Cargill's music hits. It was kind of a setup. We were all sitting there like, who's coming out? Who's coming out? Who's coming out? It was obvious. And Jade comes out. And Jade says, Tiffy, you got to cut this out. I'll give you credit. You had a great match at WrestleMania. But now you have a bigger target on your back. And I have nothing but time now that I've defeated Naomi. So it's time for me to try to be a champion. And Tiffany goes, you know what? Screw it. Let's do this thing right now. And these two got a match at that very second. And it was good. This stuff was really good. They were doing back and forth stuff and doing really technical wrestling for the first little bit here, which is nice to see of Jade, because she's obviously got a bunch of criticism in the past there. And then Tiffany just continues her, she's got a pretty good reputation at this point in the ring. But Jade would hit a couple spine busters. Tiffany would reply with a spine buster herself. It's nice to see them in the ring doing that kind of stuff. Jade would dominate most of the time during the commercial break, but we would come back and she would reverse. Tiffany does a little like cartwheel into the Alabama Slam. But when she did the cartwheel, Jade caught her, picked her up, sit down powerbomb 1-2 ooh, and it was insane. Really good stuff.
Yeah, didn't even touch the mat.
No, it was crazy. They would go up, they would do a superplex, and when they're both laying there, crowd starts going wild. What's happening here? Naomi's there, and she just pounces on Jade. Match is over. Ding, ding. Jade wins by DQ, I guess. But, I mean, she is just going berserk on Jade Cargill. She picks her up. She throws her into the post a few times. I mean, she's just destroying her. Tiffy gets in the ring. She looks pissed. She's kind of like, I was enjoying having this match against Jade, right? And she stares down Naomi when Nia Jax from behind. She takes out Tiffany Stratton. She hits her a few times, hits her with an Annihilator, and sits there with the belt, holds it high. So a lot here to talk about. Let's break it down into two parts here. I'm going to pop it from the get-go. You popping it, all of it?
Yeah, I think you have to.
Good stuff there. But let's break it down into two parts here. So Naomi does continue to attack Jade Cargill here. It's looking like that story is not completed. Do we like the idea of them kind of competing for what is going to look like maybe being the number one contender after the Nia and Tiffany stuff is over?
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say yes. I think you look at it, and I don't really know who else you'd put in there. Bianca obviously would be an easy choice, but Bianca has some broken fingers after a Mania match. And also she's got a decision to eventually make here, which side she's going to go in. So maybe that comes into play as well. I was a little surprised originally Jade got the win and it was like, okay, cool. That's the way they're going to go, but not so fast. We're going to keep running it back. I really enjoyed it the first time, so I'm going to keep enjoying it. I have no issues with this.
Yeah. I mean, the second that the match was over at WrestleMania, it was like, okay, there's obviously going to be a chapter 2 and probably chapter 3, 4, 5, because eventually Bianca does have to get involved here. I would like the idea of this being leading one of them into the title picture. SmackDown doesn't really have a bunch of people lined up for the title picture spot, which is great because little stories like this can shoot them into those moments. So I hope that down the line, whoever ends up being the victor of the Jade and Naomi situation does end up going to face Tiffany Stratton because it's much deserved.
Yeah, I mean, right off the top of my head, I would probably say Naomi. Yeah. Naomi versus Tiffany, and then you have Bianca versus Jade would probably be my early prediction, but I'm probably wrong. So,
second part here, though, Nia Jax has returned, obviously, to finish the story that we were all kind of like, why aren't they finishing that? Tiffany cashed in her Money in the Bank months and months and months ago to defeat Nia Jax to win that championship initially. Now that we're past Mania, Nia Jax is looking for revenge, and I couldn't be more happy about it. I think this is going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be really good. I feel like I've been sitting here beating the drum.
Yeah, you have.
Hitting the table like, where's Nia Jax at? This doesn't make any sense in a day where people seem to headbutt their way into rematches. Why doesn't Nia Jax just do that? Well, Nia Jax did that tonight. You can see our live reaction to it if I hadn't had it muted. But, it was great stuff. Nia Jax is fantastic. we're both big fans of hers. I'm sure there's probably a small part of the wrestling community that probably is not a fan of this, but you have unresolved issues here. You also have Backlash that is from SmackDown 15 days. So you don't have a lot of time to really build anything up. So just go ahead and do this again and just run it back at Backlash. The promo work is between now and then is going to be really good. The match is going to be really good. Sign me up.
I think this is the one last loose end that Tiffany has before she becomes like a cemented top champion, right? We kept asking, when is this going to happen? Because logically it needed to happen. You can't just cash in the Money in the Bank, steal the title, walk away, and the champion's not going to come back and try to get it back, right? But we got the Charlotte Flair stuff and it worked out well. They got their Mania match. So logically, Nia Jax is going to step back in. She didn't get a Mania match. So you shoot her right back into a title picture at the PLE that's coming up now, probably at Backlash. So hopefully Tiffany can do a good job here, work on her promo work with another strong promo person in Nia Jax. And with the match is going to be great. Tiffany's going to win, and I'm going to love every second of it.
Yeah, with these two being such great friends outside of the ring, I have no worries about the promo or the in-ring stuff. I feel like they're going to really, like you said, cement this one, and it's going to be good.
Agreed. Speaking of champions, U.S. champion Jacob Fatu comes out with Solo to kind of talk about what they did, and Solo made it all about him. He said Jacob Fatu is the future, but don't forget, nobody wanted him here. They said he was dangerous. He was trouble. But I fixed all that. I'm the reason he's champion here. I'm the reason. He goes on for a while there until Fatu takes the mic away from him and he goes, let's not get it twisted. I said I'd win this title for our family, and that's what I did. And I said I'd win it with or without you. And then he does his whole, I'm all gas, no brakes, all that good stuff. LA Knight's music hits. He wants his title back because look at that. Logic. Champion gets, champion wants his title back. Rematch clause works for LA Knight.
Where's Liv's at?
Yeah, where's Liv?
Where's Liv? Go out there and say you want a rematch.
Justice for Liv's rematch clause. LA comes out here and says, you beat me. That's credit where credit's due. Now I want my title back and I want my rematch right now. When Drew McIntyre's music hits. Huh?
Uh-huh.
What are you doing in this?
Yeah.
But he had some good reasons here. He said, it's not easy being me, tall, jacked, all this good stuff.
Handsome, I think he said.
Handsome.
Long hair.
He said, I've been screwed over in title match after title match, and I beat Damian Priest, so now that bugaboo's off my back. So I wanted that title. I wanted the main title, but Randy beat me to it because this business is all about nepotism and blood. And then he points to Jacob Fatu and Soul in the ring, goes, shout out Bloodline, by the way. But he says Cena is a fraud, so I didn't want to fight him anyways. I want to fight the baddest men this company has to offer. Jacob, I want to fight you. And LA Knight is at this point laying on the ropes and just mocking Drew McIntyre because these guys do have some reported real beef after the Royal Rumble and stuff. But they start arguing back and forth. LA wants his shot. Drew's pissed. LA wants his shot. Well, Nick Aldis steps out here and he goes, hey, how about you go in the back and we'll do this match later for the number one contender spot for the U.S. title. Logic. I love this promo from top to bottom from literally every single guy here. It did work for the Solo stuff. It did work for everybody and popping it.
Yeah, I'm going to pop it as well. You got Solo. I mean, Solo's not wrong with what he's saying. Nope. People aren't going to like it, but he's not wrong. Then you have Fatu saying like, hey, man, like I did this by myself, which is also factual. Yep. LA wanting the rematch. You're like, okay, yeah, cool. I guess we could do that now. Drew being inserted. You're like, oh, what the hell? What the hell? I mean, I know you went after some Bloodline members like a while back, but like that kind of stopped. And the reasoning was good. Yeah. I mean, when he says, I want to fight the biggest and the baddest, I want to fight you, Jacob, the crowd gets hushed. And then the crowd also like goes from hushed to like, oh yeah, I want to see that match.
Pretty cool.
And you're just like, yep. I don't care what else happens. LA, you get out of the way. Yep. Solo, you get out of the way. You guys can go do whatever. You guys can two-step down in Texas and we'll just get this match going. Like, I want to see it.
Yeah, I mean, there's more on this to come later, so we'll get into our full thoughts because they do end up having that match. But before then, this happened. U.S. title match. Chelsea Green is defending her U.S. title against Zelina Vega, which, let's do a little recap here. 2 weeks ago, Chelsea lost in 60 seconds to a count out to Zelina Vega. Last week, she wasn't allowed to have her Secret Hervis out there, and she lost clean as a whistle to Zelina Vega. So it's our third time around. The champion's lost twice in a row. She's got all this momentum with a great new faction. Surely we just, we have all the reasoning to give her the belt. Well, the match happened. Zelina would be hot right away, but Secret Service was out there, and they were making themselves apparent right away. They were cheating. They're a heel faction. They cheat. What they do. And they were getting in the way of stuff. Piper even dropped an elbow on her on the outside while Chelsea was distracting the ref. Zelina would hit like a second rope, like release German suplex to Chelsea, which is really nice. She'd hit a top rope Meteora, go for the 1-2 there. When Alba Fire popped up on one apron, Zelina walked over, smacked her, and hit the backstabber to Chelsea in the ring. Well, when that happens, she tries to go for the 619, but Piper grabs her feet. And the ref sees this.
Yeah.
And Piper's like, no, we good. And then she walks away, and then Alba Fire comes over and tries to grab Zelina.
She's got her by the hair.
Yeah, grabs her by the hair. And the ref's like, I see this too. What are you doing? Leave. You guys are disqualified from the match. And we're like, okay, well, this is going to give Chelsea Green enough time to pop up and take advantage of this BS moment, right? Zelina walks over, hits the code red on Chelsea Green. 1, 2, 3. Zelina defeats Chelsea Green, even though she had Secret Service, to become the United States champion. I'm very happy with Zelina. It's long overdue in terms of her being a champion in the WWE, but story-wise and the way they went about all of this, I think has just been a total train wreck for Chelsea and the Secret Service. I don't like the story. I'm dropping the whole thing.
Yeah, this is the low moment of the night.
Yeah.
For sure. Part of me thinks that the Chelsea Green ref storyline is going to come into play here because the ref with the countout is the same ref that did it tonight. That didn't DQ Zelina for Chelsea to like retain. And we know that Chelsea filed that like class action lawsuit against the ref originally. So maybe that's what you get out of this if we're going to try to be positive about it. Yeah, good for Zelina. That's awesome and everything. Like, good for her. She probably should have had a title before now. But to take the title off of Chelsea here, when Chelsea has all the steam behind her and she's got the Secret Service and the storylines are great. You don't even have to give Chelsea great storylines. She can just make them gold. To have her lose back-to-back times to Zelina when there is really no story, Zelina just kind of shows up on SmackDown and says, I want that. And then a couple weeks go by, a month or whatever, and then she's got the party people with her and she's like, yeah, I want that title. And then just to do it, it just seems really random and weird. I feel like you're probably going to end up getting some backlash on Zelina because she takes it off of Chelsea, and it kind of takes away from Zelina's moment.
Yeah, this isn't about Zelina Vega. I have nothing against her, but I more have an issue with the way Chelsea's been booked in the ring over these last few weeks. Like, the finishes have been horrible, let alone. Like, that's one thing by itself, but Chelsea hasn't looked like any sort of competent in-ring participant at all. Like, I get that the story is that she can't do anything without the Secret Service. I understand that. But to win the title, she didn't have the Secret Service, and it was about winning the title, and she did it in really good fashion, and her in-ring work was being showcased to the audience as being someone that could maybe be a champion down the line. Now, it just feels like she's just kind of an idiot in the ring. Like, if she doesn't have her Secret Service, she doesn't even know how to wrestle, and she can't even take much damage without getting pinned. Like, it just feels like all the momentum for Chelsea by herself has been just stolen from this whole thing. And you're right, it does feel like it's going to take away from Zelina's reign because people love Chelsea so much.
Yeah, and it is kind of crazy. You look at the two mid-card titles for the women, and Lyra still somehow has hers. Hell, Lyra was even a double champ. And then Chelsea loses her title first. I'm sure there's something bigger here, and we're going to get some good stuff with Chelsea character-wise out of this. But Chelsea, like you said, really took a step forward on WWE programming in the ring. Obviously, outside of WWE, people know how great she's been.
Yeah.
Taking a step back there, the character even is kind of taking a step back if that's the case, because, I mean, the title was the whole thing. You get the outfits, the over-the-topness. I'm your first ever, greatest ever, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, and that kind of takes a step back. So really just something I feel like we didn't need.
Nope. At least not at a random SmackDown.
Right.
At least
Well,
build it.
SmackDown after Mania, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, but at least build it up, put it on Backlash. It's right there. Mello Don't Miz is backstage celebrating the Andre the Giant Battle Royale that Mello won last week. Miz even got him a good old Andre the Giant chain. But Miz says, I'm going out to the ring to cut a promo that was old school Miz. And it felt phenomenal to hear. I mean, he was just talking smack Miz right back to it. He says, for years, I've been an integral part of WWE Hell. I once main evented at WrestleMania. I don't know if you guys knew that, but Miz talks about that a lot. And he said, When Ray got hurt going into a WrestleMania match, did they ask the 20+ year tenured wrestler to have a moment on the show? No, they gave it to some new guy. Should I put a mask on myself and call myself Ray? Maybe that'll work for me. He said when Randy's opponent got hurt at before WrestleMania, did they ask a 20+ year tenured guy to go out there and have a match against Randy Orton? No, they went with an internet meme. I'm sick of it. I am the A-lister. I am must-see. I am... Lights go off. Music hits. It's the old school Alistair Black intro. He gets the whole thing, the coffin raising, all the good stuff. And it's perfectly done. He gets into the ring, and The Miz approaches him, and all we get is a black mass spinning kick to The Miz's face, and he poses. Alistair Black is back. It was a wonderful reintroduction to him. I can't wait for this feud that he's going to have with The Miz. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome, as some would say, but I'm just happy Alistair Black is back in the WWE. Popping it.
Yeah, you have to pop this. Been teased for a while, obviously, so everybody knew it was happening. It was kind of like, well, what's going to happen here? Who's he going to go with? You put The Miz out there with The Miz cutting a great promo.
Yep.
I mean, we are big Miz fans, so maybe we're a little bit biased here. But that guy needs more time. It's not carrying cross level, like scathing promo, but you could tell there's some real life feelings with Miz there. Great stuff. Fantastic stuff. And then, like you said, the lights go out and you get that nostalgic feeling. You're like, oh yeah, the guy's back again. You have the visual of Alistair Black and The Miz. The Miz is in the all white. You got the tatted up Alistair Black, doesn't say a word, sits down, crisscross applesauce in the ring, gets up, black mass, and then just poses again. You're like, yep, sign me up. I'm in, all in on this. I don't even know if it's going to be a feud. I'm going to say it's just going to be a one-off. And then I'm going to say probably after he beats The Miz next week, he goes on to face Carmelo Hayes. And you give me Carmelo Hayes versus him. I don't really care who comes out of that. I'd say probably Alistair Black because he is the returning guy. But, I mean, sign me up.
Yeah, I mean, Melo's done much worse things than being a feud with Alistair Black. I mean, he's had a job out to Braun Strowman and people like that. Melo proved in the 7-game series he had with Andrade that he can do it in ring with anybody. What a perfect feud to get invested in right away for Alistair Black. I mean, Miz is going to test him on the mic. Hopefully Alistair Black can live up to that, which we know he can. He's phenomenal in every aspect. And then the matches that we're going to get with The Miz and Melo in the ring are going to be great. So if that's the starting feud they want to go with, I'm 100% here for it. But at the end of the day, I'm just glad we got the boy back. It's the same package. It's the same intro. It's the same everything. And it's perfect. He shouldn't have left to begin with. So I'm glad he's here.
Yeah, I would say definitely the better of the two returns.
Yeah. We would get a Bianca and a Naomi backstage thing. Bianca she talked about how she broke her finger and how she's coming back to SmackDown, so she will be on SmackDown after that finger heals. Naomi was looking for somebody backstage, but she ran into Nia Jax, and Nia Jax basically said, stay out of my way when it comes to Tiffany, and Bianca said, proceed with caution. Naomi said, proceed with caution, so... We got that in the bag, but we would get the LA Knight versus Drew McIntyre.
Very pointless and weird.
Yeah, they were
Very
kind of
pointless.
just, we needed 3
We need a minute. We need a minute. Go.
LA Knight versus Drew McIntyre, #1 contender match for the U.S. title. That's crazy to hear. Those guys should be fighting for the bigger title, but this is awesome too.
Sign me up. I don't care what title it's for. It could be for the speed title.
After the Royal Rumble with whatever happened there were rumors that these two had some backstage animosity, and the first 10 minutes of this match was that. I mean, they worked stiff. They beat the hell out of each other. There weren't a lot of quote-unquote spots. They kind of were just picking each other up and slamming each other to the mat really hard. And it was good. I like that.
That is just, I mean, if you're looking for a 5-star wrestling sequence where it seems like dancing and the art of like wrestling and that type of, you're not getting that in this match.
No.
This is a lot of holes, a lot of hard punches.
It's an old-fashioned slobber knocker, kid.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, they were just going absolutely crazy. LA Knight would get his comeback because Drew dominated for a lot of this match. He hit his jumping neck breaker. We get outside. And LA Knight would start doing his hits off the announce table where he's bouncing Drew's head off the announce table and all that good stuff. And he throws Drew in the ring. The ref the ref isn't. The ref's looking at LA Knight. He throws Drew McIntyre in the ring. Solo Sikoa pops out of nowhere, spikes LA Knight right in the throat. Ref goes, ref did not see it, right?
No, he rolls LA in. Yeah.
Ref is checking on Drew. I was correct. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Drew saw it, and Drew kind of looked at it like, damn it, I didn't want to win this way, but screw it, I got to do what I got to do. And he loads up a Claymore kick when Damian Priest is there, and he pulls Drew McIntyre out, and we had to say it for the first time ever. The new announce table broke on SmackDown or Raw. Damian Priest, south of heavens, Drew McIntyre right through the freaking table.
Wouldn't have been my first pick.
Yeah, wouldn't have been my first pick. But at this point, LA Knight now is in Solo's face, or no, in Drew McIntyre, or Damian Priest's face.
Right. Because Priest walks around after. LA Knight comes out and says, well, you cost me my match.
Yeah, you cost me my match. You got me you got him DQ'd, so he gets to win. What the hell did you do here? When all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Flying Fatu comes through the ropes and takes them out. He's going absolutely insane.
Pulls off the shiesty, and then he...
Yeah, going absolutely doing that.
I can't do it.
Gets in the ring. He moonsaults absolutely everybody.
Tribal cheeks and moons to everybody.
Cheeks, all the good stuff. You can hear what I'm saying. This is a pop. Yeah. This is a big pop. The U.S. title picture is stacked with stars right now, it looks like. You got Fatu as champion. You got Solo hovering around the cloud. You got LA Knight, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest. This is incredible. I love all of it. Are we getting some big old title match at Backlash?
I'll take a fatal four-way. Yeah. Give me a fatal four-way here. Give me Drew versus LA versus Damian versus Fatu. I mean, that just sounds amazing, right? WWE showed that, like, at WrestleMania, hey, the card, sometimes we don't have enough spots. We have so much talent, and we don't have enough matches, and we don't have enough time, but we want to just put all these guys together. And they did that with, like, the Raw Fatal 4-Way at WrestleMania, and it was fantastic. So go ahead, do this with SmackDown, put this on Backlash. It's going to be fantastic. The crowd can cheer for every single one of these guys. You could see every single one of them winning. You can have fans cheering for all of them. At the end of the day, you're like sitting back, put your feet up, and you're like, yep, this is going to be good.
The problem with SmackDown is always, or recently the problem with SmackDown is that world title is always in its own thing. Like, it feels like most of the mid-card has no chance at touching that world title. And that's what this is. It's a product of that. None of these guys can be around Randy and John Cena right now. And Drew even said that in his promo. But that being said, this is awesome. Give me exactly this then. You have one mid-card title. You have a bunch of A-list guys that could easily be in the main title if they wanted to, but they can't be. Throw them together and see what the hell happens. I cannot wait for this. Hopefully they pull this at Backlash and they give us the Fatal 4-Way and we get Solo clouding the entire thing. I mean, that might be match of the night at Backlash. It just worked at Mania with the triple threat with Dom and them. It's going to work here. I couldn't be more excited for it.
Yeah, exactly. And then you, like you said, the wild card on the outside being Solo somehow maybe costing Fatu or tries to help Fatu and ends up costing him. I mean, that's the big, wild card in all of this. It feels like, dang, Solo's on the outside looking in. But then you look at the four of the ring, you're like, well, you know what, Solo, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It is what it is. We would get a very, very heartwarming moment. John Cena was leaving the arena, and he ran into R-Truth. And Truth says, if you ever need me, John Cena, call me. And Cena just kind of looked at him like, okay, whatever, man, and walked away. Big Jim was there, and he said, look, dude, that guy's a bad guy now, basically. Mm-hmm. And R-Truth says there's two sides to every story. When I grow up, I want to be like John Cena. It's like, okay. R-Truth forever, brother. Mm-hmm. R-Truth forever.
In I think he was in a John Cena shirt.
Oh, yeah.
I think is what
it was. And his jorts. Yeah.
I mean, I can't wait for the day John Cena takes him out.
Get you a friend.
That's what's going to happen.
Get you a friend like R-Truth to John Cena.
That's what we need. We need R-Truth farewell merch.
We do.
It's just John Cena awesome. Merch, but it's R-Truth.
Same thing with, that's $1 billion idea. Then the main event, which I will tell you right now, everybody listening here, I won't do it justice when it comes to the spots of this match. This was one of the best TLC matches I have ever seen. It was incredible. It was a tag team championship TLC match with the Motor City Machine Guns, Street Profits, and DIY, and they put on an absolute clinic from top to bottom. Yes, was it a spot fest furniture breaking bonanza? Yep. And it was spectacular throughout the entire thing. I mean, just a few off the top of my head. I wrote down a ton, but I just don't want to go through all of them. There was a couple though when DIY took a chair, put it around Shelly's neck, and then Gargano came and used another chair and home run swang another chair into that chair on his neck.
And it didn't just stay there. It swung around his head.
Spun around his head. I mean, Montez was doing suicide sentons to everybody on the outside of the ring. We had a bunch of table breaking spots where the Motor City Machine Guns did their finisher to, I believe it was Gargano, through the table off the apron.
Yeah, and Saban is standing on the him and Gargano are standing on the table.
Yeah. We had Tommaso Ciampa pick up Montez Ford, run across the apron, and then drop him and himself through a ladder. I mean, we had so many chair spots where they put two of them together, but the backs of the chairs were up against each other, so it created a big rail, and Dawkins did a spinning neck breaker onto the rail to Gargano. I mean, this thing was just full of ridiculous.
You had the front flip with Montez through Ciampa before the ladder spot, through the table.
What we're getting at here is there are like legitimately 25 spots here that you could watch. If you have an opportunity, get them. Watch it, or I'm guessing we're going to post a reaction. Go to our content. You'll be able to see the reaction content. Another one, though, that I had to point out. Montez Ford grabbed a guy's leg from the crowd. There was an amputee there who had a fake leg, and he gave him the fake leg. Montez turned around, used it, and started hitting people with this guy's fake leg, and then he tossed the fake leg back to the guy. I was like,
the guy holds the leg. He holds his leg up in the air, and then Joe's like... Joe is like, what is that guy's leg? Yeah. TLC.
Yeah, when Joe Tessitore is giving you crazy emotion on the mic, you know you're doing something right. It's absolutely crazy. Eventually, we would get Saban on one side of the ladder and Gargano on the other side of the ladder, and they're fighting at the very top for that title. And then randomly, you see Montez Ford scaling the side of the ladder, and he starts to bash their heads together. They both fall. Montez pops up to the top, and he takes down the titles. Street Profits retain in what was probably one of the greatest TLC matches in WWE history. It's a must watch. It's a must see. And the right people won. The reign of the Street Profits continues. I loved every second of it. We're popping it.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about Dawkins spearing.
That's the thing.
Ciampa off the titles through the table.
Yeah.
I mean, you could go on forever. So... you look at it from a couple of different ways here, right? This match doesn't make the Mania card, and people are like, well, this match deserves to be on the Mania card. Well, now, after seeing this match, I understand why it was not on the WrestleMania card, because this would have been match of the weekend. I mean, if your name is not Edge and Christian, Hardy Boys, Dudley Boys, take those guys out. This is the best TLC match that there's been. I mean, it was fantastic, like you said. Everybody getting a chance to shine, everybody going through tables and chairs and legs and ladders, and you have the right guys win, like you said, and everybody, Montez, athletic, most athletic WWE superstar of all time. I don't care what anybody says. That's just a fact. And then you have Ciampa, Gargano, who like, they're the heels, but then like they're doing really cool stuff. And you're like, well, I don't like you, but like, I have to cheer that because that looks really cool. If you haven't seen it, you got to go watch it. If you've seen it, watch it again. And if you watch it again, watch it a third time. I mean, it is that good. I'm sure there's stuff watching it live that we missed that we'll watch it again and we'll pick something else up and then we'll pick something else up again. I mean, it's just, like I said, there's a reason why this didn't make the Mania card after this, because they gave it 30, 40 minutes, chance to shine here, and those guys put on a 5-star match.
There's 3 takeaways for me. 1, the right people won. Street Profits are incredible. Those guys are absolutely insane, and the reign of them needs to continue. 2, you're 100% right. They didn't put it on the Mania card because they decided to give it a full 40 minutes here, 30 minutes here. They used every second of it, and it was some of the best stuff ever. And then my 3rd takeaway is it is a different world on SmackDown. On Raw, that tag division could not be ignited with a freaking, I don't know what there's nothing that can jumpstart that tag division to be anywhere near this. SmackDown is a breath of fresh air. Those guys know how to do it over there. It is the best tag division probably in the world at this point. It's great. At the end of the day, this match is a 5-star banger, and I'm going to go watch it again and again and again because the spots were insane.
Yeah, spots are insane. And like I said, I like the way that they really utilized the table and the ladder and the chair and a leg. Sometimes they don't always do that, right? Sometimes you get a TLC and it's, okay, we're going to really use the tables, and then we're only going to use the ladders to climb up, or like, yeah, we kind of forget about the chair. The chair is not really important, but every weapon, every piece of furniture got its own chance to shine here. What else can you say? I mean, in terms of just in-ring stuff, like everybody would have lost their minds on the main. You wouldn't have been able to continue at WrestleMania.
The Raw and SmackDown after WrestleMania, we call them that. Raw and SmackDown after WrestleMania. They're big deals. This easily took the cake. It was the best part of the week. It was the best part of the week. And that's crazy to think. That's crazy to think that the tag match that was left off the Mania card ended up stealing the post WrestleMania shows. That's crazy to think.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I mean, you could argue you have the night one main event and maybe the women's triple threat at Mania. Other than that, I mean, this is in the conversation
for match of the week.
Yeah.
Woo.
I mean, it really is.
It is. No, 100%.
It has to be.
It deserves its respect. I agree. Anyway, we gave this SmackDown 12 pops to only 2 drops, and that's what it was. It was a spectacular episode of SmackDown. Highly recommend watching it. At least a tag match if you have a shot. Anyway, it was also really fun watching it with you guys on the live stream here, youtube.com/CodWrestlePod. Raw, SmackDown, PLEs, except for next Raw because we gonna be there. But watch out for a live stream while we're there. Who knows? Maybe. For everything else, at COD WrestlePod, COD WrestlePod, we have a link tree in our bio. It's got everything in there. So like, subscribe, and share all that good stuff. But I'm Will. That's Brandon. We are the Cousins of Destruction Wrestling Podcast. We will see you next time.